Hello and welcome back to Not My Monk Life. I am Ayesha,
And I'm Skye.
and it's nice to see you.
Or for you to see us.
Usually Skye does that part, and I don't, as you can tell.
It's our go to slogan, guys. We have to fit it in every episode until the end of time.
Today we come to you with another game show type episode.
Yeah!
Because we're doing these regularly, as you've probably noticed by now, every other week-ish, give or take. I don't
Give or
want to,
take. We
but
are playing
today
games.
we are playing games. We're playing card games. We don't play games in real life because we're sane human beings. Today we're gonna do something a little different, and we have a truth or drink card game without drinking. So
Yes. From Cut.
maybe next time you'll see us with some water, some non-alcoholic fun drinks. But today we have our spirits. Literally, I came up with that on the spot.
It's
Okay,
truth
anyway.
or meditate. If you don't want to answer the question, reflect on your decision.
Truth or don't meditate. Be in
Truth or
chaos for a second.
face the world raw.
This guy's cards, so this guy's gonna read us the question.
I do. I am our host today. The rules are that the oldest person asks the first question. I am clearly older, so
And if you have seen our early episodes, we dissected that because Skye and her brain thinks she's like a decade older. She's a year and a half older. Don't forget the half, it's very important.
it feels like so much more. In my brain, Ayesha stopped aging at 23 for some reason because she doesn't age. I feel like you'll be like 40 and I'll be out here like, yeah, she's 23 and people will believe me.
I don't mind people believing you on that.
I know, honestly.
That's so funny because I know it's true too.
See, good genes. Okay,
Oh no, I meant Skye telling me I'm 23. Anyways,
first question. Here's a cute little card. Shout out Kat. We're starting a business. What venture would we be most successful at as a bear?
well, the podcast. But I also think that we would just be good overall cult leaders. I really think that if we ever wanted to start a cult or like a pyramid scheme or something like that, I just think that we would. Man, I feel like I shouldn't be saying this out loud because it could be taken out of context and used against me. But I also think that we would be really solid at it because who would suspect us? Anyways, next question.
I'm trying to literally imagine us being cult leaders. Like I would like keep the books. I feel like you pull in a lot of the people.
I would pull in a lot of the people.
I feel like you're more social than I am.
I don't know about that. I feel like people would be gravitated to you.
Maybe. Let's
No.
plan this out later and then when we start our cult, don't be
You guys will
surprised.
already be in it. Or are you already in it?
Before you know it, you're already in this. Just kidding. We would never do that to you.
We're such strange people.
We would never do that to you, I promise. Okay, my question is, how long did it take you to get over your last ex? What did you do to get over it? Are you actually over it? Answer is at the speed of light. Nothing was necessary to accomplish this. 100% over it.
In my head, when you read that out loud, first of all, I like you reading all the cards because just reading your facial expressions before hearing the card is so entertaining. But in my head, I was like, was Skye ever in it? Like,
Honestly. Like, honestly.
was over it before you were actually.
Never really was enough to never climb that hill to need to get over something. Anyway, your question is, what advice do I need but don't want to hear?
What advice do
This
you
is my
need?
question to you. What advice do I need? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But give it to me straight.
This is the second episode where the questions are just back to you. I'm like, do I need to give you a reading or something?
I know, honestly.
Is this what I'm supposed to be doing?
That is what it is. They're sneaking it in the cards.
This is one of those things that I'm like, if you weren't close with someone, this could make or break a friendship.
No, I imagine you're in a group of people with like young adults and some of them are haters. And you're here like, ooh, and they're all drinking and they're playing truth or drink and they pull out this card and it's their number one hater and they read them for filth.
Yeah, that's to be honest, I think I need another card because I feel like in our last episode I tried to give you advice and it was just like, Skye, we all love you. And
It was
that's really it.
beautiful.
Like, I have nothing more to say.
I will take it and I will give you another card. Guys, usually we play We're Not Really Strangers. This game is different.
This is why you need alcohol.
Like, your question is, tell us about a time you deliberately did something to provoke your partner.
In a bad way?
No, it can be any way. Positive, positive way.
I mean, today he thought I was rage baiting him and thought I was trying to provoke him, and it just wasn't the case because context. My man is Brooklyn born. He's a New Yorker. New Yorkers take pride in being from New York. You know how people are always like, New York mileage is different from normal mileage. Like, if something is nearby, it's like 20 minutes away by walking, and that's like, it's right around the corner. And to me, that is right around the corner because I walk everywhere. To my man, he is not actually like that. And I was trying to explain this one place. I was like, it's right near you. It's like where you grew up. Do you know of this place? And he was like, I've never heard of this. And then he's like, girl, this is in a different neighborhood. I was like, yeah, but it's like a 35-minute walk. Like, it's pretty close to you. And he's like, this is not even my neighborhood. And then, like, I kept provoking him, quote unquote. And it just wasn't that. But I was like, no, it's close to you. And he was like, this is closer to where you used to live. I was like, by like a minute. And then he was like, you know, Barclays Center is pushing it for me, which is a 40-minute walk from him. And so I pulled up Google Maps on FaceTime and I was trying to be like, no, look, this, what I'm telling you about, is closer than that. So if that's pushing it, that means that this is nearby. Anyways, it was this whole thing. And then the whole time he was like, you're rage baiting me. And I was like, you are not being rage. I'm not. I was like, I swear on your life. So I guess that, but unintentionally. I know the question was deliberate, but that's my best answer for now.
It's a great answer, and it's also such a New York specific story, which I love.
I feel like people wanted me to say something about a time I was toxic, but I've grown. I have stories if you ask me about all my other relationships, literally provoked people. But in this one, I can honestly say I haven't. Like, Homeboy might have his own trauma from time to time and think I am. But I'm like, no.
That's
Like,
very real.
actually, no, not at all. I feel like this is the most ready I've been to be in a relationship because I can I can understand where I'm coming from. And I'm not doing things out of insecurity or trying to piss people off because I know how to communicate now.
Yay.
So that's my answer.
Okay, let's see what my question is. Have you ever been fired? If so, what for? If not, why not?
Wait, if not, why not?
If not, because I'm amazing. No, I've been fired one time. I was fired one time. It's not because I did anything, so someone else did something. And I didn't report it, basically. And so it was seen as like just like supportive of this person's actions. They did something very wrong. I'll get into the specifics, but then we'd have to call the cops. And I don't like it was like legally not great on their part. Yeah, it did not go well for them. And then they also fired me. But they at the time when they were firing me, they're out here like they're like doing like an evaluation first. And they're like, they literally said like you are, I think, the sweetest person that we've ever met. You are the sweetest person we've ever talked to. And I was just like, okay. And they're out here like, but we have to fire you to like make a statement. Sorry. And I was like, okay. And everyone was just kind of like, we don't really understand why that like came back on you. And I was like, I don't know either, but look at life. And that was the one time I was fired.
We love you so much. We're really sad to let you go because you're the best person we've ever met, but we have to prove a point.
We have to prove a point.
This isn't your fault at all.
The learning lesson was just like, I don't know, like when you know someone's doing something wrong, don't try and catch them. Like, don't like insert yourself in other people's mistakes.
Yeah, that's actually a really good lesson.
It was. I was like, I'll take it. It's fine. And I do think about that. Like, I learned that lesson of like, there's a word for it that they used. I forget what the word is, but it's just like when you're like supporting someone's actions, like unknowingly, like you're not really sticking up for what you really think or what your actual morals are. And I was just like, fair point. And so since then, it's just kind of like, nah, don't do that, fam. Or leave me out of it. Those are kind of like the two sectors. And it's also definitely like hardened me towards certain things, my expectations of people. I'm like, I'm not okay with that. So if you're going to be like close to me, you're not going to do that anymore. Or do it away.
You are very much like that. Like you really stand by that and you don't let things just slide. And it's important because if you let things slide, then other people are going to get hurt because people aren't going to know what they're doing or own what they're
Exactly.
doing. And so that's actually, it sucks that you got fired, but it's really important, I feel like, to hear just that message. And you can tell that you really do live by that.
It's funny because that happened before I met you. That happened like right before I met you. Not right before, a year before? Like a year before. But yeah, by the time that you and I were friends, I was living a new life. All right, your question is, are there certain situations with me you avoid on purpose?
It wouldn't occur to me to do that. One, two, we have such solid communication and I really appreciate that and value that. And so we address anything, but also three, we're in each other's heads half the time. Meaning if something's up, we already know something's up.
Yeah,
And like if I feel something from you or if you feel something from me, we'll kind of address it or initiate that conversation for each other. But I feel like we wouldn't even be able to.
I feel like I was thinking about like activities and places, and I feel like
Oh my god, I avoid especially outings with people with everybody. This is not personal to Skye. Music festivals. Do not go to those with Skye.
I
That's
know.
Skye's thing. I in my head try to be like, yes, this is cool, and then I sit with it and it gives me way too much anxiety. I'm like, if it was a music festival where I could be in charge of everybody who's on the lineup and everything, that'd be different. If I could choose
Yeah,
who was gonna be there in the crowd, the vibe of everything. But yeah.
that's fair. I was also thinking that we're rarely not sober together. We don't like actively avoid it. All of our alone time is spent just vibrating very highly and talking about our feelings and planning our lives and all of that. If we're hanging out, we're not gonna like go get drinks.
That
We've
is so
got
true.
Yeah, we got drinks one time in New York.
Yeah.
No, I did you have a drink or did only I have a drink? I like a hot whiskey wintry thing.
Actually, I don't think. Yeah, there have been. Yeah, I don't think I did. I think I had a cider with you like once.
Did we? I
Or
don't
you
remember.
just told me, no, we went to that little house gathering thing.
I remember that.
I don't
Yeah,
remember that.
that was the one time though. That was like the one time that we weren't sober.
That was actually a good answer. That was a really good answer because I'm over here being like, conversations, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I do not hang out with Skye outside of our home.
We don't party together.
Yeah, that
But
is
we
not
both like we go out though. Like we go out, we live our lives. We also haven't like we became close during COVID. And then we moved and
Yeah.
moved and
We were
moved.
in the same place for like 2 months maybe during COVID, and it's COVID, so you're not really, with each other 24/7. So that's
Yeah,
actually crazy. The only time that we've lived in the same place was during the peak of COVID,
that's interesting. It's like only when you guys cannot access anyone else will you all physically be near.
which is very symbolic.
It is. Okay, this is your question to me. Well, something that's definitely not your problem, but somehow always becomes your problem.
Harsh game.
To read this again. What's something that's definitely not your problem, but somehow always becomes your problem? I would have a different answer like a year ago. Today, those things no longer are a problem.
I'm curious.
It would have been like a year ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to hear what is in your head.
I think something that used to be your problem, but it's definitely not your problem, would be like the insecurities of men.
Mm.
I think that was always like became your problem for like a little while there. But it wasn't your problem. Now it's different.
Now it's like bad landlords. Like, this isn't my problem. This is my problem.
That is it. You know it's not your problem. Your ceiling falling in or the AC not working.
In three apartments, I'm 3 for 3, where it's not just a tiny little leak. I've had my ceiling, my drywall fall down in every apartment.
I did not know that.
Yeah, this one's just been the worst because it's right in the main area and it happened 6 different times. But yeah, my first apartment, which was still a studio apartment, it happened in the bathroom, which it's like, okay, at least I kind of have a door. The bathroom was like that big in that apartment. My last apartment, that apartment was huge. There were 2 different floors and stuff. Like it was intense, but it's like, I could go other places. This one, the whole looked sad. This one was definitely the worst. And again, it happened multiple times. It's overly confident landlords. Before it was insecure men. Now it's people who should be a little bit insecure.
Literally. Like, be more insecure, you guys. Please.
Care more about what other people think, please.
Care about anyone's feelings but your own. How about that? Okay, your question is tell us about a time you observed me lying to someone else. Was it the right thing to do?
What in the world?
When
I don't think I've ever observed you lying.
I don't think you've ever observed. That's not one of my go-tos.
I'm trying to think if you've ever lied to, like, when we were in Italy, every man was trying to get with Skye, and I'm trying to
That
remember.
is not true at all. And I say this because I was just a witness to the
Skye was
men.
turning heads.
I did not notice this. I just noticed the men were out here like, Ayesha. And I was just like standing there, like, I'm also here, but I'm very happy and supportive of this situation.
It's so funny because that's the opposite. But anyway, we have 2 different experiences. A true friendship is being mindful of how much attention your friend is getting and being a healthy amount of just like, okay, making sure they're safe and everything's good. But I'm trying to remember. I think potentially the only time I could picture you lying, and I don't even know if this is true, is if there was a creepy man and you like lied about our next move or something like that. I think that might be the extent of it, but even then, I'm like, I don't know, you're really good at being direct and being like, bye.
The mistake I made was not lying about our next
I was
move when we
about
were
to
in
say,
Italy.
going back to the question that I was like, I need a different question, where one thing that I would tell you is that, yeah, it's okay to lie to these strangers a little bit if they're gonna stalk you.
Guys, quite literally got a stalker. We've never told this story on our podcast. Oh my gracious, you guys. Went to Italy. A random man, we were in Naples watching some street performers. Random man walked up to talk to us because he was African and I am black. That's very exciting for them. So he walked over and he's talking to us. He's out here, la 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 la. We're out here like, haha. And we're out here like, okay, we're leaving now. And the person is just like, I genuinely can't remember what bit of information. Oh, no, no, no. We didn't give him any information. Okay, we're like, we're leaving. He's out here like, oh, come hang out with us. We're out here like, no, we're leaving. Bye. And we skedaddle away. We skedaddle at least 4 blocks away. We skedaddle far enough for another random African man to hit on us again. I think he called me like mama or something, like hey something. I was out here like stop targeting me because they were targeting me
This
to
is
try
what
and
I
buy their
mean,
stuff.
attention.
It was it was a very specific attention, and so we skedaddled far enough away to get like catcalled again, and then I hear someone go Skye, and we're in Italy. We don't know anyone here. I'm like, okay, what? Turn. And this man's first off huge. He's like 6'4", I'd say. I'd say this man's 6'4". He's out here like, hey, you never gave me your phone number? Something like that. Yeah, you never gave me your phone number. You never gave me your phone number. This man followed us like 4 blocks. And so I give him my phone number, the actual one of my phone, knowing that he would reach out over WhatsApp and knowing that I'm not downloading WhatsApp. I don't want to talk to anyone. Goodbye. And so Ayesha and I go from Naples to Amalfi. And so we were chatting with the cousins before. They're out here like, what are you up to? Hang out with us tomorrow. We're out here like, we can't hang out with you tomorrow. We're going to the Amalfi Coast. So we leave Naples next day. We go to the Amalfi Coast, but what they don't know is we went to Miori, which is a smaller island near Amalfi. It's not Amalfi. Thank goodness. We go to Miori, we live our lives, we bounce, bounce, we bounce. I remember when we were in Miori, you're like, oh, are you gonna like text that person back? Or like, did they text you? I was out here like, I don't know, and I'll never know because I'm never downloading WhatsApp. You guys, when we get back into the US, this was like such a long story. I'm so sorry. When we get back to the US, I start getting weird Emails, this is strange. I start getting a random person liked all my photos on Instagram. I removed them as a follower. They refollowed me. I think they messaged me two weird DMs. I blocked them. I get another weird email. I think I get like another weird email, and I don't remember any weird texts. But then I got a call from London randomly one morning, and I had a friend who just moved to London. I was like, oh my goodness, maybe this person needs me for some reason. That person didn't need me. We weren't even that close. But I'm such a good friend that I answered. I answered the call, and it's this random man talking to me. I couldn't remember who he was for a while. And then it all comes to me. And then in this phone call, he reveals that he never got a text back from me. So instead of being sane, he went to Amalfi the next day, which is a 2 hour drive from Naples. I think it's a 2 hour drive from Naples.
It's too long to be up and leaving. Get a life.
It's not a casual thing to do. If you're going, he went to Amalfi the next day looking for us. And his whole thing was just like, you are wife material. I would marry you. I'm going to fly you out to London. I said, you don't live in London. He goes, I will be in London. It was the strangest conversation of feeling like I was like managing. Ayesha, I just had this feeling that he could be listening now.
Don't say that. I was thinking about this recently. This is taking such a different turn. This is just our whole podcast episode. I was thinking about this because I had this stalker like throughout high school. This man who lived in New Jersey, and he was very, very strange. Very, very, very strange. And he swore to me that one day I would move up here and we would run into each other and all this sort of stuff. And I did move up here. And there is I'm not even gonna go into it because we could save this, but there is so much, and I always think about like, oh my God, what if he knows that I have a podcast and he listens to it because he'll pop up from time to time in weird ways, and it's like, and in this age, this digital age, when you block someone, they could just create new accounts.
Literally, they have your information memorized. They will find you.
Yeah.
They know your phone number, they know your Instagram, they know your I think because of that interaction, because through my phone number, he found my Instagram, and through my Instagram he found my email address. And so I'm out here like I had a business account. I turned it into like a personal account to remove the email aspect and stuff. Cause I'm out here like, no. No, 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 no. Too much. That was too much. That was too much. That's so scary actually.
No, it's terrifying.
Anyway, we both had stalkers, and this is why I'm gonna lie more.
And that is how I answer that question that I did not answer earlier.
Okay, this is my question. How would this is your question to me. How would my life be worse if we had never met? My goodness. I'd feel so much less. I don't want to say I'd feel so much less grounded in my spirituality because hopefully I would still feel grounded in my spirituality, but that journey would be very, very different. And it would have taken me more time to find a community that made me feel seen. And also, it's very rare to have someone who is as spiritual as you are, but also grounded as you are and practical and wants to live a human life. And like, this is not our monk life. And like, we resonate on that. And to be at that place in your spiritual journey, like, I feel like we are like spirals of like DNA. Like we're on a very similar journey. We just kind of like do. And that's so uplifting and grounding at the same time. And I feel like I've met spiritual people who are on similar spiritual beliefs as me, but it's also very different. And the relationship is a lot more, it feels just a lot more grandiose to me. How a lot of people, like new age spiritual people, experience their spirituality. It's less like super defining factor that makes them better than everyone else. And I'm like, well, wow, it's a little counterintuitive. Versus like it's just a part of you. And it's just a part, you're just born like this. You're born with a certain level of awareness, and you feed that in yourself, and you like honor those aspects of yourself, and it's just how you move through the world. And that makes me feel very safe in experiencing the world the way that I experience the world. And I feel so much less like an alien on earth having you as my friend.
Love you so much, Skye.
I love love you too.
It's beautiful to have dynamics where you could see how much you grow because of a relationship, and it's not like because this relationship is awful, I'm forced to grow. It's like to have dynamics, especially in friendships, because I think that a lot of times you can be really close to someone and you're like best friends with someone or whatever, but having this kind of relationship, like platonic relationship, where you're growing alongside of someone, but you're two individual people and you're just there supporting each other, but also you have all these other synchronicities too, which like we lived 5 minutes apart from each other and didn't know we existed. And then yeah, both from like Greensboro, North Carolina, or have history there.
Yeah.
All these random little things, I think it's just really it's really refreshing and sweet to see how many synchronicities there are, but also just to know that we really are on this journey together, but where we are going on a journey individually, there's so much support. One, just naturally, because I think there's that innate, we just get each other and know what's up, and a lot of times we're just on that same page. To like the I'm experiencing this body pain today. It's like me too.
Literally.
These little things, but then there are so many moments where we aren't glued at the hip in a way too. This is just a very rare dynamic for me, and I'm just so grateful, more than grateful. I just don't have the words for it, and appreciative. And I feel like I've said this a few times, but it's a lot of times in friendships, I'm like, oh my God, this person feels like my sister. This person feels like, whatever. In our friendship, it's like, yes, we have that sisterhood, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, no, Skye's my friend.
Yeah.
Skye is my friend. And I feel like I just really started understanding what that means because of our relationship and how to show up for that and the importance of friendship too. So everything you say just means a lot. I know I kind of answered it too,
No,
but
I love everything you said.
really appreciative.
And I love that defining aspect of just like a friendship. It's different than, it's just different. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Okay, last question. This is your question. Okay. What's your greatest moment of telling someone off? Can you reenact it for us?
You know what's kind of nice is I'm thinking in my head, and I have a lot of moments where I tell people off. I think sometimes in my head I view myself as there have been moments where I'm like weak, and it's like actually no. Sometimes people just use their power against you, even though you're trying to do the right thing. Yeah, actually, because I was thinking about all the times where I've told men off, which I'm always proud of myself, anytime people are being odd. But there are some good moments where I've told my family off respectfully and not even told them off as much as just stood my ground.
I feel like it's interesting to even mention like telling your family off because it feels like this like breaking of the most divine of laws.
That's why I said respectfully. That's why I added that word.
It's also it's so important to like help the people in your life grow. Like it's who's going to hold you more accountable than your family and who's going to hold parents more accountable than their children or like grandparents and their grandchildren. Like who's going to at a white Thanksgiving who's going to call grandma racist besides your liberal blue-haired grandchild.
Hmm.
And that's like not a bad thing. The helpful thing is when it's like based out of love and respect.
Yeah, it's not cursing them out. I want to clarify
Yeah.
because those are two very different vibes. And I think that one very much comes from love and just not trying to do anything you know is intentionally harmful just because it's the norm or like the family is just this way. And yeah, there have definitely been, I feel like a decent number of times with my family, especially when race is involved and having to just get into those conversations. And I think that my greatest moments honestly are when I'm able to challenge people and ask questions. And I just always love when someone's just doing the most and you ask them a question and they stumble. Like they don't even know what to do with that. Like I love those moments. I'm thinking of this one time. I don't know if this is dark. This is probably dark, might be triggering. But there was this guy in high school and I was obsessed with him. I love this man so much, but not in like a I want to be with you and date you kind of way. More like a, oh my God, I think you're the way I feel about our friendship. I always wanted someone who was just on the same page. Like I always just wanted to not feel alone and spiritually connected. But a lot of people were just not grounded at all, like you were saying. I was like, I think it is this man. I think he's the one that's gonna get it. Despite never having interacted with him, I was just like, there's something about his aura, you know? And then when I did my little stalking and I realized, oh, everything he tweets about, posts on Tumblr about, this was a while ago, it's exactly me. We're destined to be best friends. It was purely platonic. But, anyways, like 3 years later, when that had kind of died down, this is during a time in my naive life where I didn't realize that if you hang out with a guy, they're usually always assuming it's to hook up.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I didn't know that was a thing, even if it's like him and his friend. Apparently, that is like the time of their lives. Was dating this guy, and I feel like we were in that phase where it's like we're broken up, but we're like not broken up. But I remember him, he used to be a very, very jealous human being. Understandably, though, because people are out here. I remember him telling me, because I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out with this person because you can't tell me what to do and I want to be friends with this person. And I remember him saying, no, he will try to like smoke you out and then you basically. And I'm like, that's a huge accusation. Absolutely not. And also, I'm not gonna really partake. Like, I'm not trying to get high with random people. Long story short, it was late, so I went inside like a different room. Not it was the family room. It was an open room, but I went from the porch to the family room and just kind of like laid on the sofa. Lo and behold, my ex was right. This man was like, so weird. But yeah, this man was like trying. Like it's not funny, but it's just like how are you known? This gives serial killer energy when it's like this person, this is how they go, this is how they do it. I was like, because you seem like a fine, cool person. Like I feel like you don't have to go through all of this. But I don't remember what I said, but I remember because here's the thing. When I'm tired and hungry, I'm just mean. I'm very direct. Like, I don't know how to politely go about stuff. I'm just very short at times with like how I communicate. And it was one of those times, so I don't even know what I said. But he got so offended because I asked him, I was like, blah, 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 blah. And then I think I might have added something about how people were right.
They said you were like this.
And this man got off and he was so offended. And then he's just like, you need to leave. And I was like, thank you. And I made him get me an Uber.
Yes.
You know how when someone's sometimes arguing or they're heated about something and it like doesn't make sense? For me, I just ignore it because I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying. Like I'm confused on what you're saying. It's not making sense. But he was just not he wasn't confused. He was just offended because I was telling him the truth. And it was one of those and then I was like, yo, you just need to you buy me an Uber right now. I don't remember how the whole thing went down, but anyways, made it home safe and then told my ex, I was like, hey, you were right. And he's like, you actually went. You know, again, prefacing this because I would not do this now. This was when I was like 16 or whatever. I don't know. I was a sophomore or something. I was dumb and naive and young. So I have learned since then for sure. This isn't me giving any advice. That's a situation that could have been avoided. I feel like I have to add all my little disclaimers.
That's real though. Like you have to consider that in like so many interactions in your adulthood.
Yeah, it's really sad because I think admittedly, it kind of just recently clicked for me. Like right before my current relationship. Honestly, right at the start of my current relationship, because even then, I was like, if this man sits next to me and I tell him and enforce the fact that, hey, I'm not looking for anything, I have a person, also, I don't like you, also, you're not getting any of my contact information, like, how does it not click still? But the people I find are the sweetest, the cutest, just the most adorable, like the complete package, are the ones who don't ever have any confidence. And it's sad because I'll be like, hey, stop thinking that no one likes you. They will assume that no one likes them. And I'm like, you're the whole package. How can anyone not like you? I don't like you, but you're just my friend.
I wonder what that is. I feel like, I don't know, men are trained different, you
But it's
know?
ones that I'm like, why do you have so much? I think everyone should have confidence, but why do you have so much cockiness? Because that's one, your
Literally.
personality is not attractive at all, but also you aren't attractive. But it might be your personality that is making it that way. And I'm like, who in your life has not? Because this is what pops into my head when men are like that, or I guess people in general, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you clearly haven't faced rejection and you haven't been told no, but is that because you push and push and push and eventually people give in? Because I've been in situations like that as a teenager and stuff where I was like, okay, I'll date you because I feel like I don't have an option in this case. So let me try it out. And it's like, this is why my heart was saying no because you're a weirdo. It's a very specific personality type and it's a very specific type of dude. Where's all this coming from?
I think there's two types. I think there's like when people are a problem when they're like younger, like teens and early 20s or whatever. It is where they just like pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and people just give in, and no one's like, people are saying no, but you're not hearing no. But I think there's a whole other genre of people who come into power and money in their older years, and they just like want to abuse every aspect of power that they can. And it's one of those things where a lot of people were like geeks or nerds when they were in middle and high school and they didn't get any attention. And now they're like 40 with money and they can pay for X, Y, and Z. And they want to see what they can get. Like, what can I get from this person? What can I make this person do? And so, like, I feel like I have to deal with that reality, that personality in like corporate America, not within my own company that I work for, but beyond. But it's funny because one of those things like my partner's like, tell them they have a boyfriend. And I'm like, here, like, it's not what he sounds like. He sounds like a man.
Oh, you have a boyfriend.
Tell me you have a boyfriend. And I'm like, that's not gonna help. But as much as I say that to him when we first have that conversation, I do listen to him and I do sneak that into conversations now, like with everyone and anyone for any reason. Because he understands the male mind better than I do, or like the minds of the people who are attracted to women, because it's beyond men. And I'm like, my whole thing is, why do you even have to worry about that at work? Why do I have to think about that? This person is old enough to be my grandparent. Why
Ew.
should that even be a problem here? And it's like, no, because we're dealing with a very specific, I don't know what they have, what the name is for this personality type, but what I always call it now is like people are bored and they've already done so much with like playing with money. They've played with power this much. I want to play with like people. And you guys are going to leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. Quite literally leave me out of it. It's not cute. And I'm not going to play the game to see how far I can take it. I don't want to use my charm to see, like, oh, can I get this, but also avoid. No, I'm not gambling with my life. Absolutely not.
No, no, no.
No, no, no.
Yeah, first of all, good for you.
Thank
Period.
you. Thank you.
But
Good
also,
for you.
thank you.
That was like a really cool, I don't know, I'm very inspired by the story you told.
Thank you. Also, I've mentioned this before, but my all-time favorite is all the times where men have either sent me pictures I did not want to see or asked me for pictures I did not want to take, and instead you send a picture of an STD. To save yourself from trauma, just do that with other people.
Just traumatize them. You like genitals so much? I'll show you genitals.
You won't listen to me when I say no and stop, and you create more accounts when I block you? Absolutely not. Disgusting. Goodbye.
Stalkers get photos of STDs 2026. STDs against stalkers. That's the campaign that we're running on. What an interesting way to wrap up our game. This is crazy because this was supposed to be another mini episode,
This was supposed to
but
be a 10-minute episode.
it was.
This
It
was a
is.
full episode.
This has been an hour, which is actually so fun.
This might be my favorite episode.
Really?
I really enjoyed this.
Oh my goodness. Well, you guys, let us know if it's your favorite episode in the comments. Engage with us.
Please engage with us. We appreciate you listening to us.
We do, no matter what. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to our really wild stories that we threw in today.
See, we don't even need alcohol.
You're right. We don't need alcohol to overshare. Just
And
kidding.
we answer every question if we can.
We do what we can
And if we don't, we somehow find a way to weave it back in.
and still entertain you guys. Thank you for listening. Catch us on YouTube, Spotify, probably other podcast platforms at this point because we're full blown professionals. Catch us taking over the world one story time at a time. We love you guys. Have an amazing day.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.